Thank you so much for joining me today for this wonderful yoga practice. My name is Christine. I am practicing today with a group from Breast Friends in Tigard, Oregon. They are a wonderful resource for anyone in any stage of a breast cancer diagnosis. The website, the web address is in the description box below if you would like more information for yourself or anyone else that is on your radar or in your circle of friends and family. So today we'll be practicing from a safe and sturdy seat, hopefully one that does not have wheels on, and one from which you can have your feet firmly on the ground. And I am barefoot today. If you might be practicing at home in a pair of socks or slippers or shoes, but if it's comfortable for you to get barefoot and get your feet on the ground, that can help us to have a sense of groundedness, literally, by just bringing ourselves into our bodies. And that is important, especially in today's world. We have a lot going on politically, globally. There are wars and protests and climate concerns, and it can be very, very overwhelming. But one of the things that yoga teaches us is that we don't really have control over a lot of that stuff, most of that stuff. We have this circle of concern that is everything that we care about that's going on in the world. We have a circle of influence where we can maybe, by just showing up and being ourselves, influence what's going on, and usually that circle is much, much smaller than our circle of concern. And then right here in the middle is our circle of control, and that's what we have direct control over. But yoga teaches us, and life teaches us as well, that if we are concerned with what's going on that we have no control over, that can create a sense of anxiety or depression in us. And so what we want to do is come to ourselves, come to our bodies, get out of the cycle of ruminating on what's going on in the world around us, and get back into our bodies and back in touch with ourselves, so that when those challenges and those situations pop up, we can meet them from a place of centeredness and groundedness. So feeling your feet on the floor, ideally, but if you're feeling socks or shoes, no judgment. You do you here. Whatever is comfortable, whatever feels safe, we're going to create that sense of safety and groundedness here in our own bodies. So it might be helpful, if you're comfortable, to close your eyes. And just to redirect the focus of attention down to the bottoms of your feet, to the palms of your hands where they're resting, perhaps in your lap. Notice how it feels to be sitting on your chair, to have your hips, your legs, your pelvis supported. And as thoughts come up today, and they will because we are human, as thoughts do pop into your awareness, just be aware of them. Don't judge them. Don't chide yourself for losing focus again. Just notice them and gently bring yourself back to the sensations that you're feeling in your body right now in this present moment. And then let's just bring one hand and then the other together at the heart today. If you feel compelled, you might bow your chin gently towards your chest. In yoga, we call this Anjali Mudra, prayer position. And we have a mantra that we recite in yoga called the Shanti mantra. And Shanti in Sanskrit means peace. And so the Shanti mantra is Loka Samasta Sukhi no Bhavantu. And that translates to may all beings everywhere. And that includes each one of you. May all beings everywhere be happy and free. And may our thoughts, words, deeds, and actions contribute to that in some way. So let's have the intention of our practice today be the Shanti mantra, that your own thoughts, your own words, your own actions contribute to your own happiness and freedom, to the happiness and freedom of everyone you have in your circle of influence, and to the happiness and freedom to everyone in our circle of concern, knowing that as we influence those around us, they influence those around them, and we have that whole beautiful butterfly effect. So let that be your intention today. So as you are in your practice today, let your actions contribute to your own happiness and freedom. So feeling your feet on the ground, your sit bones supported in your chair, your palms on your lap. Let's go ahead and extend the legs out as much as feels good to you. Maybe they're resting here on your knees. And as you take your next inhale, arch your back a little bit, lift your heart up towards the sky, and look up as much as your neck is happy with. And with your next exhale, round your spine, draw your chin towards your chest and your belly button back. So just continue to move gently like this, not pushing or forcing anything, arching your back in a seated cow posture as you inhale, and rounding your back in a seated cat posture as you exhale. And I'm just going to turn to the side so you can see the flexion of my spine. I'm inhaling, arching the back, lifting the heart, looking upward, rolling the pubic bone forward and down, and then round the back, drawing the tailbone down, and the belly button to the spine, and the chin towards the heart. And we're just moving from the breath, and linking the breath to the body helps to keep us in our body and helps to keep us out of those thoughts. So we'll just continue to move here together. And maybe the next time you inhale, you might imagine that you're inhaling well-being. And as you exhale, you might imagine that you're releasing anything that doesn't belong to you. Inhale, welcome vitality and energy. Exhale, let go of your need to control or change anyone other than your own self. Inhale, maybe with a sense of optimism. Exhale, round the spine, give a little squeeze to the low belly. Get all of that exhale out so that you can fully welcome the next inhale. Just a few more rounds here, moving with your breath, welcoming the breath and the body and the well-being and the peace into your heart. Exhale, releasing anything that doesn't serve you, anything that doesn't belong to you. One more round here. And then the next time you inhale back to your beginning tall spine. Feel your feet on the ground. Feel your sit bones on the chair. Feel your palms resting to your lap. And maybe with your eyes closed, just notice if your energy is any different. Do you feel anything tingling or any warmth in your body? If you feel any sensation at all, just notice it and welcome it. Beautiful. Just coming back to that sense of yourself, Let's do a little bilateral movement that helps to strengthen the neuroplasticity in our brains. So we'll continue with our cat-cow, but this time as we inhale, lift the heart to cow, we'll reach that left arm up as high as it wants to go. And we'll exhale, round the spine. Inhale, lift the right arm as high as it wants to go. Maybe it just wants to go to shoulder height, maybe all the way alongside your ear. And then exhale, hand returns to your lap. Inhale, reach that left arm up, look up, reach up for joy and well-being. Exhale, round the spine, give that low belly a little squeeze. And then inhale, reach up, look up, maybe even bring a smile to your beautiful face. And we'll just continue once again, moving from side to side. Move with your breath. Move in your own timing. Inhale, welcome that new air in. Exhale, let go of the breath that's no longer serving you. Nice little squeeze at the bottom. One more time, we'll inhale that right arm up. Exhale, round your back, chin to chest. And then inhale, come back to that tall spine again. Feel your feet on the ground. Notice what's happening in your hands, your heart. You might be able to feel your heart beating. You might be able to feel a sense of aliveness in your body. And then again, let's inhale, look up towards the sky. Exhale, round the spine. The next time we inhale and look up, reach both arms up as high as they want to go. And then as you exhale, keep that tall spine and take a twist over to your right. Let your hands float down. Let them rest to your body or your chair, whatever makes the most sense for your chair and your body. And you may look over towards the right side of your room, or you might even turn to look back over your right shoulder if that feels good in your neck. Gently roll your right shoulder down and back. And as you inhale, lengthen through the spine. Feel the feet on the floor and the sit bones in your chair. And as you exhale, soften gently into your twist. Couple more breaths here. Feeling your experience. One more inhale here. And as you exhale, just unwind and come right back to center. Let's inhale, nice tall spine. Exhale, round the spine, chin to chest. Inhale, cow pose. Reach both hands up as high as they like. Exhale, back to your tall spine and twist to your left. Hands come to land wherever it makes sense for you. Roll that left shoulder down and back. Reach the base of your skull up towards the sky, even as you're really grounded here in your feet and your sit bones. Look back to your left or maybe back over your left shoulder. Couple breaths here, lengthening through the spine. And softening into your twist. Again, not forcing or pushing. Couple breaths here. One more inhale, get long. Exhale, gentle release. Keep that tall spine as you unwind and come back to center. And again, just check in with yourself. Check in with how you feel emotionally. the quality of the thoughts in your mind, how your body feels. And then we'll get into the hips a little bit. We tend to store a lot of emotion in our hips. We've gotten into that in some of our workshops, but when we are activated in our nervous system, when that stress response is activated, we can get into fight or flight, or we might get into freeze, which is kind of like play dead, or submit, which is also known as fawning. All of those postures, I'll just show whether you're getting ready to fight, or you're getting ready to run, or you're getting ready to cool up into a little ball, or you're kind of trying to walk on eggshells. All of that keeps our hip flexors contracted and short. And so you might have a lot of hip pain from that, especially as we begin to open up those hip flexors. So we're going to do that a little bit here today. If you have any knee or ankle issues, a couple of modifications. So first, we're just going to bring that right ankle up to the top of the left knee. Now, if you do have shoulder or ankle issues, you could take a couple yoga blocks if you have them. If not, maybe a stack of firm pillows or a couple Amazon boxes. I'm sure we all have a few of those hanging around. And you can just put them right under you so that you may bring your right foot to a block or a pillow on the floor and just turn the knee out here. Or perhaps you might make it a little taller and turn the knee out here. Or if you have the room and the mobility, you could bring your ankle up to the top of your thigh. And we'll find that nice figure four stretch, and we just want the hands to be resting on the body. We don't want to push on this knee at all. And flex this right foot because that helps engage all the tendons and ligaments that support your knee here. And with your hands just resting softly, think about just energetically moving your knee downward, and notice what you feel here in this outer right thigh, the outer hip. Find that tall spine, draw the base of your skull up and back. And if you want a little more sensation, you might gently begin to hinge forward at those hips, drawing your heart forward, keeping your neck nice and long, and just breathe here. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. Release the tension in your jaw. And as you breathe here, you might feel the breath in your chest. See if you can invite it down into your low belly so that you feel a little bit of an expansion across your low back, maybe even out into your hips. One more full breath here. And then inhale yourself back up to that tall spine. We'll release that ankle from the top of the left thigh. Bring your hands either underneath your right thigh or around the front of your shin. And we'll just make some ankle rotations here to release any tension from that. Reverse your little circles. Point and flex your foot. And then we'll bring that foot down to the ground. And before we shift sides, just notice for a moment the differences in your right leg, your right hip, and your left side. Your right leg might feel a little lighter or heavier than the left leg. It might feel warmer or cooler. Just noticing, we're just being in touch with ourselves today. And then we'll take that left ankle either to your supports on the ground or up to the top of the right knee. Feel your right foot on the ground. I'm going to move that out of the way so you can see. Feel all your toes on the ground, feel your heel on the ground. Gently rest your hands on your lap, flex that left foot. Energetically, so from here, if I was really lifted here, which may be the case, especially if you have really tight hips, your knee might be really high here. Just want to draw it down just with the power of my leg. Again, not forcing or pushing, but just finding your edge here. And then sitting nice and tall, notice what you feel here. And again, see if you can invite the breath to come down out of the chest into the low belly. Feel free to stay here. This might be plenty, or if you like, you can increase the sensation by gently leaning forward and listening to your body when it wants to stop. We want to make sure that your body agrees with the choices that your mind is making today. We don't want to push beyond our capacity, but we also don't want to shy away from our capacity. We want to be right there at that edge and soften wherever you are for a couple more breaths. As you're ready, we'll inhale back to that nice tall spine. We'll release the left ankle from the right thigh, hands under the left thigh or around the front of the left shin. We'll make some ankle circles to release that tension. Maybe in the opposite direction a few times, and then point and flex your left foot. Give your toes a little squeeze as you point them, and then we'll release that foot down to the ground. And now assess how your left side is feeling compared to the right. Maybe you feel more balanced, maybe less. Neither is right or wrong. It's just information. And then we're going to come to standing. So go ahead and press yourself up out of your seat. You can use the seat to get yourself tall. I'm going to move my chair, but you don't need to move yours, just so you can see what I'm doing here. And I'm going to come to stand at the back of the chair. So orient yourself so that you have the nice tall chair seat in front of you. If you don't have that available, if the space in your house doesn't work, you might use a kitchen counter here for support, or a kitchen table, something like that. So we're just going to come to stand so you can rest your hands on the chair. And as you're ready, we're just going to start to walk backwards away from the chair. Now, this might be plenty and your knees might be very bent, or you might walk back until your legs can straighten and you kind of come into this 90-degree angle, sort of a 7 shape. So you could be very squared off here. Your knees might be bent if your hamstrings are very tight, or they might be straight. Just make sure that they're not locked. We don't want anybody passing out in class today. And as you're here, feel your feet on the ground. Feel your hands in the chair. Lengthen your neck so that you're tucking your chin towards your heart and you're lengthening your spine. And you might give your hips a little shake from side to side. And just visualize all of the space that you're creating along your spine for those discs to soften and relax and come back into alignment. Couple breaths here, again, seeing if you can have the breath in the low belly. And then with your next inhale, we'll all bend the knees generously and step the right foot forward. So not super far. You want to be able to keep that left heel down on the ground. So your stride might be longer or shorter than mine. And we want both hips facing forward. So we don't want to be like this. We want to be facing forward here. And from here, you can bring your forearms to the top of the chair if you like, or you can stay uplifted if this is enough for that front hamstring. We want to draw the left hip forward and send the left hip back. Lengthen the spine. Relax the muscles of your face. Soften your shoulders. Couple breaths here. Inhaling vitality and wellness. Exhale, releasing that breath and anything that is not serving you. With your next inhale, we'll come back up to that tall spine. And here we will turn those toes out, but just a little bit. We still want to keep the hips facing forward. So it's a very small movement. And then we'll bend that right knee. And now we're lengthening and releasing without overstretching that front hip flexor. So again, you might stay tall and uplifted, hips facing your chair. Forearms might come down to the top of your chair. And just press into the whole sole of that left foot. And kind of think about drawing that tailbone down and pointing your hip bones up so that you're lengthening the low spine. And give that left glute a little squeeze here to help release the hip flexor. Couple breaths here. With your next inhale, we'll come back to that tall spine. We'll turn the left toes forward again. We'll step the right foot back, and we'll come back to our L shape, or what you might, if you might be familiar with downward facing dog pose in yoga, this is our chair dog. Lengthen your tailbone away from the base of your skull, nice long spine. And then as you're ready, we'll step the left foot forward. Bring those right toes as close as they need to be to have the heel on the ground. Both toes, both hips facing forward here. And then just lean forward until you feel sensation in the back of that left thigh. Or wherever else you might feel it. You could be tight in different areas. Maybe you come all the way to your forearm. If you're on a kitchen counter, you might even bring your forehead to rest on your stacked hands. Think about those deep belly breaths, softening your shoulders, lengthening your spine. Next inhale, come back to that tall spine. We'll turn the right toes out just a tiny bit, just so you can still keep the hips facing forward. And then we'll bend into that left knee. Bring your hands to your chair if you like. And maybe come forward any amount. Again, press the right heel down. Feel all 10 toes on the ground and both heels, really. But really focus on that back heel pressing down. Think about lengthening the tailbone down, kind of a little lift in the pubic bone, and squeezing that right glute a bit to help release the front of the right hip. Couple more breaths here, wherever you are. Inhale back to that nice tall spine. Turn your right toes forward, step your left foot back, and come back to your chair dog. We'll stay here for a few breaths, straight as legs as you feel comfortable with here. And think about dropping your heart down towards the ground, opening up across your shoulders and armpits. And again, you might be much closer to the chair with much deeper bend in the knees. Just wherever your range of motion is, find that boundary and soften there. One more breath in your chair dog. And then we'll walk forward towards the chair once again. Release your hands from the chair. We'll come into mountain pose. Feet on the floor, hips over your heels, heart lifted. And then with an inhale, let's reach those arms out and up, maybe bringing them to shoulder height, maybe alongside the ears. Bring your palms together and exhale your hands down to your heart. We'll do that again. Maybe you're only lifting this far and then you're coming to heart. Whatever your range of motion is, working with your own mobility. One more time, inhale, sweep up, maybe look up, lift your heart. Welcome the sunny days and the well-being, and bring it right down to rest at your heart, Anjali Mudra, prayer position. Now, a couple options here. As we get ready to close, you can come back to sit in your chair. If it works out for you and you have the space, you might consider resting with your legs on the chair. I'm just going to demonstrate that real quick for those of you that have the time and the space to do that, but then I'll come back to sit for those of you who don't have the time and space. And you could bend over to your chair and just bring one knee and then the other down to the ground. And then shift your legs right or left, or cross your ankles and roll over them. And we'll just scoot forward to the chair until your knees are on the edge of the chair. And then lower yourself down to the ground. And just rest here, letting the blood and the lymph flow from your feet and your legs back towards your heart. If that's not possible for you today, then just come back to your seat. Feel your feet on the ground. Feel your sit bones supported in your chair. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. Soften the muscles of your face, whether you're laying with your legs on the chair or you're sitting. Soften those facial muscles. Release your jaw. Feel the support of the ground underneath you. And even as we hold stress and tension in our hips, we can also hold stress and tension in other areas of our body. When we're stressed out, we tend to tighten or clench our muscles, and that can aggravate areas that are already aggravated. Sometimes when we have a lot on our shoulders, physically or emotionally or mentally or financially perhaps, we can experience shoulder pain because we are carrying so much weight there. And our question today is what part of that weight is ours to carry? And what part of that weight do we have no opportunity to do anything about? What we can do is have peace in our hearts, peace in our words, peace in our actions. Peace for ourselves and for those around us. In yoga, we have a concept of the tapas, which is the kriyas, which is the yoga of action. And that includes the tapas, which is that action, the actions that we take. And then after that, we've got svadhyaya, which is self-study. Why do we do the things we do? Why do we think about the things we think about? And then there's Ishvara Pranadhana, which is surrender. Surrender the need to control or change anything that we don't have the ability to control or change. Let go of the responsibility of what doesn't belong to you and focus on what does. Your breath, your body, the beautiful gift of sunshine that we're currently enjoying in Oregon, the gift of community, meeting here with each other on our mats every week, the gift of the community of the Breast Friends organization. And the more we can focus on the things we can control and the blessings that we have in our lives that we can appreciate and be grateful for, the more our thoughts can lead to our own happiness and freedom. And if you like, you can bring your hands together to meet at your heart. And I will just chant the Shanti mantra for you one time. And if you like to bow your head and maybe do your best to join in our prayer, our mantra might be amplified by our combined efforts. Taking an inhale to prepare. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May all beings everywhere be happy and free. And may our thoughts, words, deeds, and actions contribute to that in some way. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om peace, peace, peace. Namaste.